Surprise! Yes, I sucked him in and I got my best mate to come on the show and have a laugh at me because otherwise I would have chucked him on the bloody thumbnail. But he just told me last minute, he says, Aussie, I am in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ready Bang. As you can see, you've got the #1 arm wrestling tag team podcasters on the channel. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler. And as always, I am your 2019 Melbourne Cup left arm, 80 to 95 kilo, third place getter. The most sought after trophy in the arm wrestling world. And of course, joining me, my partner in crime. He's wearing a camo shirt because he is strong as fuck. But it is my man, Uncle John. Uncle John, welcome.
What's up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what a day. What a day it is. I got a brand new WrestleMania t-shirt. It's pretty awesome. I got a brand new hat, mosquito repellent. And this weekend, we got a giant lineup of not only great matches, but pay-per-views, which just so happens to be the topic of the day.
That's what we are talking about. We have got a poll going, 28 votes at the moment, and it is down the middle. Will these three letters be the catapult for arm wrestling matches going forward, or will it be the three letters of doom and destroy?
We should maybe, if you and I start doing pay-per-views, we should do something different like WWE has done, because they don't have pay-per-views anymore. They have premium live events. Crush it.
Oh, yes.
Crush it all.
We will we could do that. But let's say hi to everyone in the chat. We'll do premium live events and we will kill it. I'll scroll a bit up and say hi. I've got Pathetic and Lame, PAL. Hope that fella that's shitting on Aussie ain't here. I hope he is. I invite him. Man, I love everyone. Sasquatch, Alex McDonald just gives a ready bang. The arm wrestling opinion says pay-per-view every weekend, it seems, with everyone taking from the same pool. It'll eventually dry out. We will get to everyone's opinions on that. Now everyone's just coming in the comments. You all, all I want to see right now, Neil versus Evan. Damn, that was a bit of fun. Did you catch any of that? It was Evan Burgoyne part 2, and they were just shitting on each other. Very highly entertaining, and I think a match is brewing.
Here's the deal. Evan doesn't want it. Evan does not want it. If Neil trains for 2 days,
I don't think Neil's allowed to train or pick up a weight or table time, and Evan puts up his beard because he says he would smash him.
I like those odds. Then that's an interesting match. If Neil's not allowed to train, I like that actually.
Yeah. So it's good to sit there. Hi, chaps. Not my monkey, not my circus. Phil Woody UK says, Uncle John. Flex arm emoji. Fox 8-Ball says he's tired. He's not going to make it. Dig deep, Fox 8-Ball, and hang out with us, you dead set legend. John Boy says 2 times bang, which is good. Oh, boys. Sasquatch says we can lump him if he shows. That's my man, Nudas. And then Karen Looms in the chat. Jody Chocolate Thunder Williams, part of the Can-Am Connection over there on Ryan Espy's channel. They're doing some good things. And, of course, the Drew24 with his favorite quote, YouTube algorithm.
Boosting all the way.
Boosting comments. Jody saying hi to everyone in the chat. All righty. So, oh man, the comments just keep on going. Arm wrestling needs social media guy versus social media guy. Fill in the blanks. It is. So pay-per-views, and that's
Yeah.
a good point. Jody brings up. Usually, that is supposed to happen when the sport is dying. That's when
Right.
it's supposed to happen. When okay, the sport's not so much dying, but plateaued and things like that. We're on a rise. We are on a rise. So.
Mhm.
Just, I mean, you can change your answer throughout the course, Uncle John.
Yeah.
But are pay-per-views good for arm wrestling?
Well, spoiler, the answer is much more complicated than yes or no. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And there's a lot of variables that go into if it's a yes or if it's a no. I think some of those variables are how good is the card, right? We don't need pay-per-views for cards that nobody wants to watch or if nobody knows who the guys are, right? That's a big one right off the top. Um, number two is how many of these things are we going to have? How many of these things will the market allow us to have? Because right now it's literally $5 to $15 every single weekend, right?
Yeah.
So a guy like me and you, we're nuts, right? We're totally beyond. We're beyond help,
Genuine
right?
lunatics.
We're gonna get it, but there's not a lot of us, right? So if it's just being crammed down people's throats, and if they can get those matches within a couple days after the event happens without paying, I don't think that's such a good idea either. But I do think that having pay-per-views that are functional, that actually make money for the promoter and or the arm wrestler, when done correctly and appropriately and a right amount of times, then yes, it can be good for sure, because it's more money. And more money, generally speaking, unless we have certain characters running the show, more money in the sport is going to mean everybody gets to grow a little bit. And that's what we're really looking for at this point, is ways that the sport can grow without the money always every single time coming from the pocketbook of the arm wrestler, paying for entry fees or whatever it might be. If we can get people entertained by arm wrestling, people interested in arm wrestling where they're not even arm wrestlers and they just want to see the spectacle of it, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah. And I'll agree with a couple of points here. I've just got $5 super chat for 99 from Alex Willett Arm Wrestling, who was just a big hand in the Toddzilla versus Chant Shaw and had an absolute banger of a win on the undercard. He says, Jake, check your Facebook DMs. Sent you my opinion. If somebody who's put on one of these, feel free to share. It's massive. I'm gonna try and speed read it.
Wrote you a wall of text.
Chapter 1. Can't tune in, out with the fam, but I see you're talking about pay-per-views. Here's my 2 cents. At King of the Table level, undoubtedly, I think it's a good thing. They're paying the highest caliber athletes a premium fee and using a community that wants to see those matches to make it happen. Fair trade, a large production with a few baller matches. At smaller level, I think we really need to rethink how we're managing these. I don't think promoters and event organizers are going to make the pay they think they can, given the small reach of our sport. There are too many casual fans. People like Larry Devon Schoolboy break the mold, having massive followings. But for the rest of us, simply isn't the reach coming from somebody who put on one of these pay-per-views. I think we could all make more money and grow the sport in better fashion by finding sponsors. If you look at YouTube advertising, the average cost per view on an ad is paying 10 cents to 30 cents. The Chant Shaw touching pay-per-view was heavily advertised and cheap, and we ended up with 350 buys. So only $1,500 of total revenue. Chance versus Todd official footage on Michigan Arms YouTube channel has over 50,000 views. And that's a lot of views stolen, pirated, and uploads are eventually taken down. 50Ks on YouTube is worth $5,000 to $15,000 to a sponsor. That's how much they would pay to get the number of views on YouTube. So why not just offer these pay-per-views for free? Get way more views because everyone can watch it live free. No problem. Publish immediately so fewer pirated streams. You can realistically charge $10K for sponsorship on a quality production, single high match. You put on something like East versus West, you could charge far more given those matches getting hundreds of thousands viewed. Work smarter, not harder. A lot to take in, Alex. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for that.
So I got to agree for sure on one of his points, and it's a big point that I didn't really hit enough probably in my first soliloquy. But look, it's in this new era where we are testing things out, testing out pay-per-views, getting things put in. There's probably going to be an overestimation, like Alex says, of how much money people think they can really get out of it, right? He got $1,500 out of that one, which sounds not bad, but then you got all the equipment you got to buy for it. You got to set up the infrastructure for it. You got to set up the website for it. You got to, you got to do a lot of these extra little things, which makes that very, very difficult and probably right now not profitable for a promoter unless they have a really, really big card.
Yeah. I'll get to my points in a minute, but of course, Sean the Trophy Brophy. I have tried to message him and ask him to change his last name to Trophy. But once again, just being a dead set legend with $100 super chat. Sean, I've thanked you publicly and I have thanked you privately for the support, not only on my channel, but all the other channels, just like everyone out there. It really helps. John and I just tag team the shit out of everything. Sean,
really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And he says,
Legend.
John's spitting some truths, but I'll keep buying them.
Me too. Me too, right?
Well, we're content creators, and our shtick is commentating. Mm-hmm. So we need to buy them. For me, there's a lot of tangents that come into this. If there is a profit, what is the promoter doing with that money?
Mm-hmm.
If you are running a pay-per-view event to just have $500 so you can pay some bills or take the wife out or get that, you were thinking of 40 inches and now you're going to get a 48-inch TV. No. Then pay-per-view, right. If it's a quick cash grab. What is starting to dip is I need effort. Mm-hmm. I need effort. So we called, as Alex was mentioning before, we called the Chance versus Todd Zilla match. And we struggled with the undercard. Now imagine if the undercard had story.
Right.
So I'm looking for effort. I mean, at one stage we were scrambling. Who's that? It takes a bit of effort on our part as well to do it. Then having them every week doesn't bother me. It's one less coffee. I understand Not a lot of people are in great financial position. And that's not maybe Maximum Bang Monday can help out with that.
Yeah.
We can pay a couple of people for their pay-per-views. So if it continues to keep going like this, it can go for me one or two ways. One, we are sick and tired of 2 or 3 a week, $20, $30 a week, paying them. The UFC have a pay-per-view every fortnight.
Right.
And the diehard fans are buying for it. They're more global, of course, than we. They can get get really sick of it. Or we see a lot of promoters and a lot of people leave the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, Tim Talmadge, you had him on yesterday. Seems like a ripper guy, a ripper guy. Now, if this doesn't go, he's invested a lot of money into this, and if it doesn't go the way it is, well, he's not going to promote again, is he? If he's lost thousands of dollars.
Yeah, well, I think, he's gone full bore with this because he does have sponsors. The way he explained it last night was that the pay-per-view is kind of the bonus, I believe. So he was, he got the sponsors. Now he's got the pay-per-view thing up to test that out to see if it is, functional, if it does work the way it's everyone's hoping it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I see a lot of comments in the things like, oh, just go get sponsors. Just go get sponsors. Well, yeah, that's great. But do you know how hard it is to get sponsors right now after COVID? Like, people are not handing out money right now. I guarantee you. I've talked to people who are trying to push way bigger things in arm wrestling, and the sponsorships are not there. It's more difficult to come by. Not impossible, but it's not just like go get a sponsorship. It's much more complicated than that.
Yeah. Z's Guitars Account, he says, I'm cool with arm wrestling pay-per-views. These things take a lot of time, money, and effort to put together. People have to get paid. It's simple math. Yes, Z, thank you very much for your super chat. Really appreciate it, you dead set legend. Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for people trying to change the game. I've got no problem with that and giving it a go. But we're in a very seesaw at the moment where let's just put it on to have matches. I'm at a stage now, and I think it's the same with you, Uncle John, because we come from another background as well. So I'm at the stage now where I want to know why this match is happening.
Yeah.
I don't think anymore, just especially with pay-per-view, just because it's a good match,
it doesn't matter.
Think it anymore. Corey Miller versus Giannis Amelins. They have been trying to get that match for years to see who is arguably the number one lightweight in the world. Sold. Yep. You've got your little, even though they're good arm wrestlers, then you've got your YouTubers. Coach Ray, even solid arm wrestler, Adam Taranenko, Top Roll King Productions. They've been trying to build banter for their match.
Yeah.
Sold. I'll buy the pay-per-view. It's now, I think we just, and we do demand a lot for our $5. We do demand a lot for our $5, but it's just getting, the point where I think, like this weekend, do we have to buy one or two pay-per-views?
Well, one for sure. I think the other two will just be, just out there. I'm fairly certain, but I couldn't agree with you more that people, both competitors, well, really just competitors, need to figure out that you can't just be like, you know what, I'd really match up with person X. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like the majority of people, 90% of people, they do not care. There's got to be some reason. There's got to be a hook of some kind. There's got to be something. And that's why I urge arm wrestlers to start thinking about social media accounts, start thinking about creating a character of who you are. It doesn't have to be a fake character. It just, you have to have some character, right? You can't just be a log and expect people to want to watch you. It doesn't matter how good you are. It does not matter.
And I'll do it, and I'll give you a really ripper example for that. But Neil just wanted to show his love and appreciation for everyone, which we do as well. Sean Brophy, Marcus Thompson, the Money Slam, Mr. Perkley, 80, Carolyn, Juju Mugu, and all the other regular super chatters are so massively appreciated. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Neil, because Arm Wars comes out tomorrow. I set my alarm early today because it's April 22nd here in Australia. Got my mother fluffing dates wrong. Was even messaging Uncle John. I'm like, they're on the same time. What am I doing? What's happening? I was losing it. But yes, Neil, you, Uncle John, we appreciate we appreciate it, which is good. And then everyone Derek's just jumped in the chat. Derek, let us know what you think of pay-per-views. You're dead set legend, and let's get you to 10K subscribers. Everyone's just in there. Oh, geez, I've missed so many comments. I'll pause the comments there and get to it. Yeah, so you're talking about character social media presence. I don't want to sound like a flog, but I'm about to sound like a little bit of a flog. If I ran a pay-per-view event and I said I was pulling Pradeep, there's always a bit of fun banter because we're less experienced in the arm wrestling training, and we charge the pay-per-view. I believe we would sell more pay-per-views than a lot,
that have
gone on.
Yes. I'm convinced that
to your point.
We could create a card where there was 5 matches of just YouTube personalities, right? And we build that up for 3 months, and it will crush like Best in Europe. Like not like Levon and like that level, but like if you take the guys who are, all at national level in Europe, it would destroy as far as pay-per-view proceeds go. Well, guaranteed.
Yeah. So it's awesome. Just trying to catch up in the comments. Marcus Thompson, the Money Slam. You dead set legend. He goes, Uncle John, remember what we taught you? Just invoice someone.
Invoiced. You've been invoiced, sir.
Now the thing was, when you were saying before, people are saying, we'll just go get sponsors. We'll just go get sponsors. Well, because of obviously that is fantastic to just go get sponsors. Now, if you put in the hard work like Mr. and Mrs. Monster Michael Todd, yes, they went and got the big money sponsors. That is why their next pay-per-view is a free-for-all. It's free for all of us. It is free for all of us to watch. But it, like you mentioned before, trying to go up to someone after what's happened the last 2 years and say, can you give us money for an event where 2 people stand 15 centimeters apart and hold hands while screaming at each other? No, it is very hard. First of all, I've tried to get sponsors for the show, and I get this. We're still at this stage, guys. Hey guys, want to see if you want to sponsor an arm wrestling event. I've got an arm wrestling channel, reaches worldwide. Is arm wrestling a thing?
Right?
Is arm wrestling a thing? I think we're just yes, we're on an awesome trajectory, but I think we're just starting to believe we're a bit bigger than what we are.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's really easy for people to look at, what Bowen did, what Core Sports is doing, and kind of extrapolating that in their mind where you're like, hey, these setups are not that extravagant. I could set this up. But what they don't think about is all the ancillary stuff that goes along with that, right? And the fact that you have to not only have the names, but you have to have the stories, and you have to have build up, and you have to have, a lot of things that are beyond the average arm wrestler. Let's be honest. The average arm wrestler does not think about those types of things. I just know too many arm wrestlers. I understand that they don't get it.
Yeah. Karen Looms has jumped in with a super chat after supporting every single arm wrestling channel on the planet. Says capitalism, simple math to pay the athletes and pay-per-view. Macho Man Arm Wrestling Channel says, "Oh, it's G.I. Joe, Uncle John."
This is the first time I've ever worn camo in my life. It's beautiful, isn't it? WrestleMania 38.
That's right. Karen says, if people like a puller, we will buy the pay-per-view. That's what we're saying about building Carolyn. Absolutely. Let's say it's not. What about this one? Almost accidentally banned him. It's not realistic to expect casuals to pay for a card where only the main event has no names. The hype of a live match is wasted on these smaller pay-per-view cards. Could be hooking new fans instead.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said. Right? Is that not kind of what we said?
Absolutely. Yeah, people are just agreeing. I'm a perfect example. Shitty weak arm wrestlers only getting opportunities because I have a YouTube channel. And because of that comment, Derek Smith, pew, 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 has risen up again in the North American rankings.
Arm Wrestling Derek is going to be pulling Levon soon, just to let you all know. I just wanted to break that news here. And skipping right to the top.
Yeah. And then Not My Monkeys, Not My Circus brings up a good point we can discuss. Says after the Bowen pay-per-view, some arm wrestlers started to see dollar signs in their eyes, but overestimated the support. Yes, correct. But if you go back to that card, we had Lachlan Adair versus Toddzilla. Story, hate, years in the making, cancelled there. Second match was Travis Bajan,
Yeah.
back on the table.
Brandon
Elite.
Alcesser, the old dog versus the new pup, coming on up.
That's right, which we both kind of thought the match might have been fixed at the end, but whatever. Let's not bring that up. That was, and then the third one was two guys going at it on social media.
Right.
Back to your point, we've been banging this so much. So yes, you are right there, Macho Man. Arm Wrestling Channel. I love that name. You've become a member. Thank you very much for the support. You dead set legend. Just trying to, man, holy shit, this is the comments have gone nuts. I think I have to scroll all the way. Sorry, guys, if I've missed a lot.
Hey, go to the Arm Wrestling Opinion, laying lies down in this chat right now. It's down. It's closer to the bottom.
Okay, it's funny. This one?
Yeah.
Okay, it's funny that you say sponsors don't know arm wrestling is a thing. Probably because every match that could grow a fan base is behind a paywall.
Quit lying. Arm wrestling has been around in North America since like the 50s. When did pay-per-views start? Like
3 weeks ago? A cup of coffee ago?
If we were going to break into the mainstream with different ideas, like it's not like the pay-per-views have been going this whole time, right? By and large, this is a very new phenomenon that, originally it kind of dipped its toe in with some WAL stuff and some PAL stuff going back a long ways. But this is not a common thing. It's just becoming more common now, and it's getting more ridiculous when you think you have to pay money for guys that you don't even know who they are with, maybe one main event match. I agree to that point, but don't tell me that pay-per-views are the thing that's holding arm wrestling back, because I'm sorry, that is patently false.
But I do like that his name is the Arm Wrestling Opinion. He says he's not the Arm Wrestling Truth. So thanks. You dead set superstar. But thank you for that. Troy Brown, I have been screaming this for ever since I came into the sport. Do like Ultimate Fighter House, but for arm wrestling, make sure you check out Iron House. They did something very, very similar. So I'm telling you now, you better watch tomorrow with Jordan Davis. I have legit tried to ring his boss and ask him for an hour off.
Iron House is legitimately going to be, for the guys that are like so anti pay-per-view, here's Iron House, right? It's the highest quality arm wrestling you're going to see, the highest quality production you're going to see. It is highly, story driven. It's going to be about the guys, but all the guys can back it up, right? This is something different. So, people are always getting these things where they're like, this is the way it always is. This is the thing, blah, blah, blah. But there's lots of stuff getting attempted out there. And we just got to figure out where it's all going to land.
Yeah, but it was the worst quality content I've ever seen. And now people are reluctant to get ripped off again. What are you talking about, James? I might have missed something there in the comments. Let's have a look. Dan Jean, thank you. Thank you for your super chat, you ledge. He's also a Patreon supporter. He says, the arm wrestling community is awesome. Is the SGI Sigi TV model the way forward? So if you don't know, Sigi TV, they did the live Thor versus Eddie Hall boxing match.
Right.
Now, and the Todds, they're doing a live, and they've got some quality matches, and they're going live. So it becomes that hard balance. If you can get major sponsors, then yes, you put it out live onto all of your, because the Monster Michael Todd, and they'll make their money back through super chats, views, and the sponsors will be happy getting more and more eyes on the tally. So that's not a problem. Yeah, it's a very hard balance, because if you can get all the sponsors in, then yes, then you can go live. Our biggest problem in the arm wrestling world is we don't have enough time, resources, dollary dues to get everyone that copyrights the work.
Right. There's a reason that big like the music business and, big media companies, there's a reason they can do it because they pay YouTube to do it for them, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a game.
And it's and then I forgot what I was going to say now. Let me train it. Thought. Oh, and heads up, I cannot fathom this enough. If an event is free on YouTube or free on a website or free on Facebook, that does not mean you can rip it off and put it on your channel live as well. It is just mean it is free for you to watch. It is still their property. Uncle John, I invite you to my house and I offer you a cup of coffee. It doesn't mean you can take the coffee cup home because I didn't charge you for it. It's like, pull your heads in.
Yeah.
But, Carolyn Looms, your dead set legend. She goes, I can take the estrogenic whiners that can't spend $6. Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying, Carolyn, but a lot of people can't do that every week. $6, $10, things that. But I do love that you've called them estrogenic whiners. So that, I'll take my hat off to you, Carolyn. Thank you very much there. Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man Arm Wrestling Channel has just become a member. He says, just wanted to say, love watching and listening to you both. You make my week much better.
Oh, right on.
No, that's That's really cool, man. Like we're just two dudes that love hanging out. We love having a chat with everyone. And if we can make your week better, man, we're very, as you can see, we both just went automatically into humble mode.
Yeah.
Our characters just shut down. We went, oh, thanks, mate. Stop humbling us, Macho. Stop humbling us, you dead set legend. Mazillionaire.
Oh, Mazel is here. What up, brother?
Who's down to send 400 to 600 to get Uncle John to
Oh, man.
That
would be incredible. It's a brutal trip from here, it sounds like. But, man, I would love to get over to Australia at some point. That would be incredible. Mazel, thank you, by the way. Massive supporter of all things arm wrestling. Look. All right. I just had a point that I was going to make and then I lost it. So maybe the more productive thing, because we can say, yes, pay-per-views are awful. Pay-per-views are good for whatever reason. Look, ultimately, as a community, there needs to be kind of an understanding of what we expect for, money being paid, right? That's how it works. It will suss itself out in the end. It will figure itself out. And that may just mean there's no more pay-per-views. But what is it that we want from pay-per-views? So you got names, you got likely, whether you admit it or not, you want stories because stories make it better. That's what humans desire. It's it's biologically ingrained in our minds to want stories. But like what level of, is there like a $5 level, a $10 level, a $15 level? And at $15, we better see lasers and smoke and pyro and all that type of stuff. And for $5, are we okay seeing a bar room?
Yeah, it's a very good point. The Sam Barras is like, I want quality production, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm the same as you, Sammy, my boy. We want some quality production as well. It's just, I think we may have to make a checklist, Uncle John, is like, okay, if John Brazink's on the card, he's worth this much. If Todd Hutchings, Michael Todd, or whatever, because when you look over here and we've paid $4 and we've just seen John Brazink pull, and then we go over here and it's $11 to see Joe Soltaduo pull, then it's like, yeah. My big thing, pay-per-views can work if we stop trying to get people to try to get the viewers. When I say to foot the bill, it's like, okay, Uncle John, it's going to cost me $2,000 for you to have a 51-hour flight to Australia, accommodation. Just say if you get sick of me after a few days, I'll make sure you've got a hotel room and your food and all of that.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, that's $4,000 or whatever it is. So if we make it $7, if we make it $7 over here, I'm going to get everyone else to pay for you to come. And it's it's a really hard balance where it's coming. It can be really good, but it can be really good. I think one thing with pay-per-view, fuck, I am all over the shop this morning. I do apologize, everyone. I'm all over the shop. Where it can be really good and really bad at the same time is East versus West.
How so?
So East versus West is setting the benchmark. They are really, really setting the benchmark. And whatever they charge, I will pay. But we are now getting 15, 16 matches per thing, which I am grateful for. They could legit have a monthly pay-per-view and just split the matches in half, and we would pay them there. So then, if they're only charging $11 for 16 matches, it makes a lot of other promoters, they really need to double check and say, if you're going to have a pay-per-view, then, I think you really need to lower your price in that sense.
I think, the other thing I'm thinking or seeing a lot of is people saying we need free events to get more eyes. We need free events to get more eyes. I don't disagree. I think, Arm Wars, if I take that product and I think about the way Arm Wars is working, we got Iron House completely free. The results have been, held back. So you get ultimate awesome matches with everything you could want for free. Now, what if they take that model, they give you free stuff, they've been giving everyone awesome free matches all year long, and then let's say there's a mega Arm Wars event that comes along whenever it is, and there's like 6 matches, and then they do it live, and then they do a pay-per-view. Like, so you can come along for the ride, get that taste. I mean, it's the same thing that pro wrestling does, right? Every week you can tune in, but if you want the payoff, you want the big one, you want to see the extra lights, the extra extravaganza, then you got to pay the money. But that's a big process. And I think there's not many things outside of Arm Wars that can make that happen.
Yeah. It's very hard at the moment because we just, I'm appreciative we're getting matches and matches and matches and matches, but then it's like, okay, I kind of need you to help foot the bill as well. $5.
Well, it's a give and take, right? So people who want free stuff, you get it, right? You get the free stuff. It's there for you, and it's going to be some of the best stuff you've ever seen. And then you build that up. You take the guys from Iron House and you take your best guys, boom, you slam them in a pay-per-view. Everybody already knows the stories. And wham, bam, thank you, man. You got your stories. You got well-known characters. You can have a mix of super legit elite athletes and dinguses like myself. And, and that, to me, that's what I would like to see. And then people can you could get to a point where you're like, all right, you have a feeder system where you bring in new guys on the free stuff, and then they can prove themselves. They can create their own character, work their way up into the pay-per-view level.
Absolutely. Let me punch out. All the chats are coming in. I see a message here from Phil Woody. He says SG Records channel got taken down.
No.
For copyright.
Well, I mean, that doesn't exactly, if it's true, it doesn't really surprise me, but
there's a lot of those popping up, and that's the problem. And that's, I think that, and that's another reason I think why people are charging
Mm-hmm.
as well. Because it's like, okay.
Right, because it's going to get stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Macho Man Arm Wrestling channel. Just want to say my current weight is 226 and I'm getting bigger by the day. Artem, I'm coming for you. He meant to say bigger by the day.
Go get him, Mach.
Jesus.
Go get him.
Jesus. It's going. Oh, mate. So many comments. I apologize. I've missed a lot. Macho Man has jumped in and he goes, here's $5 just for the hell of it. Nice. Retro Ricer has popped in with a $10 super chat. Thank you. You're dead set legend and happy birthday to you the other day. He's born on April 20th.
Oh,
I think a lot of you people like that day.
Was he a little bit low key yesterday? Was he a little sleepy in the eyes?
No, he was yeah. And he says, need a reality TV show where pullers all live together and act like little biatches. Well, it's obviously that's going to happen with Ironhouse. First episode comes out tomorrow. And you're absolutely on the money there, Retro Roster, because we need it. I think that would just give every point that you're saying, Uncle John, investment, story time, and all of that. And then, of course, at the end, when it's the grand final, you buy the pay-per-view. Yeah, it's just – I think the pay-per-view system is great. I think it may have just come a little too quick, too strong for it, you know.
Well, it's not like this is a super rare thing, right? When new technology becomes available for any niche – there's going to be this rush and people are going to try to figure it out. And there's going to be great success and there's going to be great failure. And that's just what we're in the middle of right now. Yeah. Like we're living the history of arm wrestling and we'll see. It'll be interesting. You know, it'll likely get funneled down. It'll get a little bit tighter. Then things will bust apart. They won't work anymore. We'll have to figure out workarounds, you know, all this stuff. People will rise, people will fall. And hopefully, you know, in a year or two, we'll have a much better outlook on, you know, how to do it. A guy like me, I'm not interested in even being part of it. I'll talk about it, but I'm not putting on any events. I'm not doing any of this work because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of risk if you don't already have the equipment and the infrastructure and all that stuff. I'm happy to let these guys shoot it out Wild Wild West style, and I'll come in and hook myself up with whoever the winner is at the end.
Yeah, we need it because the way the pay-per-views are coming, like when we called not to shit on them, but when we called the Matt Mask match, like we just wanted the Matt Mask Tim Bresnan match. We just wanted the camera moved to the left,
right?
Like we were just they slipped or it was the end of the round, and then we were just seeing at the arm wrestler. So we are definitely demanding production value. I mean, you can't please everyone, but
you have to please someone. And if you have shit matches with shit rules and shit production, that's a lot of shit going on. You might need to go to the bathroom and clean up a little bit, you know.
And stomp it in the shower. Yeah,
you have to hit. I don't know which of those three things is the most important. Maybe a higher production quality is more important than rules, more important than names. I don't know what it is. It's hard to say at this point.
Did you just say poll time? I think you just said poll time. Macho Man Randy Arm Wrestling Panel says it's a good time to be an arm wrestler.
Oh, the best.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely. And that's why I don't want to spoil this purple patch that we're going through if too many people feel like they're getting ripped off. So at the end of the first poll we had, let's have a look. 90 votes and 62% of you say yes. Pay-per-views are good.
92% at the end?
It was 62%.
62. Okay. Nice.
And now, so we will go next poll. What, and you can help me with some options. What is the main
draw
you need for and we'll ask our awesome people for a pay-per-view. What is the main thing? Is it
names? Big names.
Production.
Rule system.
And I'll go rule system. And then I can do one more. So we go price. What was your one?
Hot chicks. DJ Hot Lady.
I'll go price.
Fair enough. It's probably better.
All righty. So the poll is up. Have a vote, you dead set legends. I mean, yeah, just having a look at some of the thingos here. Beautiful. Go in and have an option. Oh, Phil Woody comes in. This is one that I have found very, very interesting. And he says, playback option.
Oh.
So a lot of the times, whether it be Core Sports, whether it be Michigan Arms, or I'm not sure about Michigan Arms, but people buy the pay-per-view like to support, and they've got to go out for tea or go out for lunch or whatever. And then from there, they want to get back home. And, you know, it's like they've recorded it, but they can't watch it. They can't go back and watch it. So they've bought the pay-per-view, and they can't watch it 3 hours after the event's finished.
Yeah. So, question here. Diff Arn has single-handedly misinterpreted every single thing we've said in every comment he's made. What is that question even? Of course you need all of them. Well, that's not the fucking question, is it? It's which one do you need the most? It's called a poll.
Yeah, I want you to sit there and say, what would be the main thing, Diffan? What would be the main thing that you would need? What would be the main thing? And I'll tell you my answer in a moment. Retro Roster Gaming, I'll tell you, this is the #1 retro gaming channel you need to go and watch and subscribe to. He goes, need more worked matches, storylines, promo, tag team arm wrestling matches, and Alan Fisher and Cobra Rhodes can be arm wrestling heels. I don't know how the community would go with fixed matches, but we've been banging on about this retro roster, and after watching your videos, I can tell 100% you're on the same page as us.
Mm-hmm.
Stories, promos, Jeff Hale, whoop whoop, entertaining as shit. Table Monkeys have tried tag team arm wrestling. We just need a lot. We definitely just need a lot. So I really appreciate it there. Thank you very much, Retro. We are on the same page. DJ Hot Lady Mud Wrestling.
There you go.
Engen's forearm flexes joined the chat, which is awesome.
Oh, good.
I'd say production is most important. Of course, names are important. I don't want to watch Devin versus Levin recorded on a BlackBerry. A BlackBerry still
But the question really is, would you rather have good production of event with no names, or Devin versus Levon on a potato?
I'll answer that in one moment. Retro Roster, thank you very much for your super chat. He goes, need some tig old biddies women in arm wrestling as well. Wet t-shirt arm wrestling. It's always easier on the eye. And Coach Ray the Terrible says, Retro gets it.
Hey, 90s WWF, brothers. I mean, it was the hottest thing going for a reason.
Yep.
2 reasons.
TNA. Because I mean, it's one of the rare sports where they have interesting matches, but I'm sure you would get more people watching. It is just human biology. Sorry to say, but we are just attracted to good-looking women.
There you go.
It's just the way it is. Oh, Diffan's fired back.
Oh, good.
What is the main thing you need to survive? Air, food, water? You're not that smart, are you, Uncle John?
Yeah, it's air, but identified as a troll, obviously. If that's the response, you've identified yourself as a troll. Carry on, sir.
Oh, Diffan's all right. He's from Sweden.
He obviously doesn't understand the concept, because you need air more than you need food and water, because if you don't have air, you die immediately.
Just vote in the comments. Nah, Diffan's all right, guys. Diffan's all right. I don't mind it. This is the difference.
He's an idiot. He doesn't have any clue what he's talking about.
It's all right then. He doesn't like you. I just see Diffan on all my channels, and this is the first time I've seen him shoot fire. This is the only reason. So, going back to your question, would I rather see an awesome quality production, a James Statham Armwrestling production again with John Tomato versus DJ Fuckface? Yeah. Or do I want to see Levan versus Devon filmed through a potato? I'm going to say both. But what people need to do, if you are running your first event, you run it for free. Yeah, you run your first event for free. Even with the names. Do not think about making a profit. If you are in this for the long game and wanting to become a king of the tables, wanting to become an Arm Wars and East versus West, you run your first event for free and hook everyone in. Get everyone watching it and went, that was a fucking great event. After the success of the first event, and then you'll be able to charge because like, well, 217's got a pay-per-view going on. James Statham's got a pay-per-view going on. Did you see their first event? It was fucking nuts. You know, he made Uncle John look good losing 6-0. I cheered for you. I've shared that story. I cheered for you knowing you were losing. Mm-hmm. So that would be, I think, the best way if you want pay-per-view to move forward. Do not charge on your first event. Sure. Do not charge on your first event unless you have got the biggest blockbuster match going on and the story, or you've spent a good 4 months building this storyline up, and then you know you've got them by the oh my god, Ozzy and Uncle John are like the Rockers. They're splitting up. Oh right. Well, if you want to see which one goes through the barbershop window, you know, and 4 months of us. Like, building it up.
Can you imagine if we ended up having a hatred for each other similar to RVJ and Ryan Bowen? That'd be a great story. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen for real, but that would be a great story.
We could retire on that kind of money if we charge. Stan Scott, thank you very much for your super chat. Says Core Sports actually lets you watch the replays, which is awesome. Yes, but what's the time limit? I know people that have bought it 12 hours later and couldn't watch it. But that could just be from where they're from. Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure. But thank you very much for your super chat. Geez, man. Everyone is going nuts in the chat. I've got to scroll down to the bottom. Thank you. Everyone that is commenting. We've just got to get back into it. So 68% of you say that it's names. 68% of you say that it's names that are most important. Mm-hmm. Well, then start giving me some prices. The 68% of you that have picked names, give me some prices. Rank them from rank number 1 in the world or North America, whatever you know, to rank number 20. No, you don't have to do every single one. Give me like rank number 1 to 5 is definitely $10. Rank number 5 to 10 is definitely $4. You know, let us know.
Well, what's the highest price of a pay-per-view? Is it like $13 for one of the King of the Table ones, something like that?
I know.
10? I can't remember. Let me look it up. Core.
Have a look. I know East versus West might be the same, but they're double dipping as well because they're running a GoFundMe, which is kind of like getting sponsors. You don't have to donate to the GoFundMe. They're trying to give you value for money with the t-shirts and the link and things like that. Retro Roster Gaming. Thank you very much for your super chat, you dead set legend. He says, arm wrestling attitude error. Jody Larrett, a fair storyline with Cobra Rhodes that settles the differences on the table, and Monster Michael Todd runs in and distracts the ref, and Cobra uses the 2 hands to pin Devon.
Book it right now. Stop what you're doing and book it.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please thank Retro Roster Gaming for saving the sport of arm wrestling?
Yeah. That would do it.
I'm just picturing it now. Monster Michael Todd's music hits, and Devon just sits there and he turns and has a look, but he's in the strap, and he turns and has a look. By God, it's Monster Michael Todd. By God, and then Cobra does the cheap heat. Nailed it. Geez, man.
I like Mizel Jador has a decent lineup here.
One, Devon, $20. John, 11. Derek Smith, $10. The rest, $7.99. Not bad.
But you got to have, I feel like there's got to be a minimum level. Like there's got to be one match on your pay-per-view that at least moves the scale on some level in order for you to have the balls to actually charge for it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody is going to watch me, put together, Canada's best mediocre athletes, guys who are just in the middle of the pack and with no prior setup, nobody's going to watch that. So there has to be something. There has to be something there, like as a bare minimum to get that $7.99.
Yeah. It's James Staten says East versus West had 5,000 matches worth the price all day. You get value for money for East versus West, without a doubt. That's why, they're awesome. Despite some dodgy production and choices of shirt belt combos. Alan Ford to avenge Evan's loss. Yay. Will you beat? She's talking to Alan in the comments.
So Alan Ford is going to go against Ryan Bowen to avenge the loss to Evan, and then Evan goes against Neil to avenge the loss that Alan had to Neil back in Arm Wars. It'll be hilarious. Yeah. Great story. Yeah. It's already written.
So then with everyone in the chat, so it's 62% names, 22% production, 9% rule system, and 7% price out of 45 votes. Now, I mean, you take that with a grain of salt because those 45% could have 45 votes could just be us lunatics that will buy every single pay-per-view known to man because we will get that money back commentating, that's not a problem there. So then I'll ask you, Uncle John. Oh, go on. Did you see a comment you want me to pull up?
Nope. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask, is pay-per-views the way forward, or is this a flash in the pan?
Yeah, I certainly think it's part of the way forward, whether you like them or not. On some level, now that it's so easy to do it, if you have that infrastructure built up, or if you have the access to a channel like Arm Wrestling TV or whatever it is, it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep happening. It's just going to be an awkward time period that we're in right now until we really figure out what is there. And that will have a lot to do with people coming in and setting higher standards, right? Right now, it's like East versus West is a high standard for like level of really, really, really awesome matches. Core Sports currently is probably the best. Would you say Core Sports is the best production at this point? Like, because WAL isn't currently going. Like, WAL obviously had the best production, I think, probably ever. PAL, I don't know if it even exists anymore. They had pretty good production value as well when they did the top 8 events.
Yeah, Core Sports and East versus West are definitely the 1-2 for pay-per-views. Pay-per-views. So is it the way forward? I think if your league or your event has structure, so like now we're getting some of the best matches we're dying to see at East versus West and Core Sports. Engen is now taking it to the next level, and he's going to introduce champions.
Right.
So you are the East versus West 85 kilo champion. So for me, that's where you're going to get more of my money. Okay, I'm seeing a match. That's cool. I'm dying to see that match. I'm excited about that match. But soon, if if the people from rank 20 to rank 100 aren't doing enough social media presence,
Right.
we're going to run out of matches.
Yes.
So now I need, okay, yes, I've seen Matt Mask pull Prudnik, but now it's for the 85 kilo championship, and Prudnik got him last time, or Matt Mask got him last time, and can he defend the belt?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, it's going to go the way there.
Well, titles come with value of story, right? It heightens the sense of value of the whole situation, makes things more important. And there's a lot of ways you can make matches more important, and that's a really good one.
I like this one, and I can tell you exactly how it goes. He goes, let's do a YouTube podcast. Let's have all the YouTube podcasters do a round robin super match. Aussie versus Pradeep versus Uncle John versus Gary Roberts. Let me tell you how it'll go. Uncle John will draw in the ranking systems. He'll have Gary Roberts 1 and 2 in the first round. Uncle John pins Gary Roberts. I will have Pradeep in the first round, and I will pin Pradeep. So then, if you're working out on the system there, then I will pull Gary Roberts, and Uncle John will pull Pradeep. Uncle John wins that. I beat Gary Roberts because he's just had too much time off the table. But I will have an absolute war with Gary Roberts, and then I'm against Uncle John in the final. And
you're just too tired. You're just too tired.
I'm just can't even, and I can't even make it to the table because I'm tearing up because you're my friend, and the thought of doing battle.
And I'm going to come to the table and I'm going to say, "I'm sorry, I love you." Yeah. And boom, smash me straight through the table into retirement.
And I'll fall over, and yeah. And Hollywood Matt Connolly is exactly the same. He says Uncle John wins all. Just a slight tangent, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to Hollywood Matt Connolly. He is co-hosting with Ryan Bowen on a Sunday morning, Saturday night, your time, in the deep end. So if you're wondering who that other dude is that sounds exactly like Ryan Bowen, it is my man, Hollywood Matt Connolly, and I can't wait to have a beer with him next weekend. So speaking of a massive pay-per-view, and I'd like everyone in the chat's honest opinion, because this will be awesome feedback for us here in Australia. Larry Wheels is pulling. Yeah. He's pulling a tournament. He's coming over. Bang. He's going to pull the tournament at Over the Top for a chance to win $10,000. We are charging $10. When I say we, Armwrestling Australian Federation are charging $10. For what? For the pay-per-view.
Oh, for the pay-per-view.
For the pay-per-view, and Sport Live TV, whoever's doing it, will roam around, and of course, when it comes to the overalls, they'll basically park themselves there when the overall division starts.
Is the whole thing pay-per-view or just the overalls?
I believe the whole event will be pay-per-view. Okay. So, is $10 the right amount of money for Larry Wheels pulling a tournament and potentially only having 2 matches?
Well, that's really going to depend on, who else is there. I mean, we know Bowen's going to be in there. We know Lachlan is probably going to be in there. Yeah, if it's $10 Australian, count me in.
That one got me. That one got me.
A lot of it is going to depend on how well they hype it up. Because here's the deal. I know that this started getting talked about like a year ago, but they need to be talking about this more. There needs to be more stuff on Larry out there. Like the Ryan Bowen did a great job of firing everybody up about, hey, put me first against Larry. And everybody, of course, got a big old ding dong in their pants, and they were waving it around and trying to show it off to everybody. But there will be interesting things in the tournament, but it's always been very, very difficult to sell a tournament to viewers. Like, I think it's an incredible mistake to put the entire thing on pay-per-view. It's just, who the hell is going to stick around for that whole thing? Nobody. Put everything up until the overalls for free. then put the overalls on and be like, this is the big thing. This is it. It's all going to happen in an hour, but you're going to have Larry. You're going to have Bowen. You're going to have Lachlan Adair. You're going to have
Mario Marcus, Jordan Davis.
All those guys. And
Brett
don't
Booth.
forget, Danny Tesh might just show up. Boom. There's your commercial. Why is that not on? Why is that not happening? Right? So, it'll work either way to a certain extent, but I would just focus on the power of it, right? I'm sorry to say, but outside of the overall, nobody's going to give a shit.
No.
Because I don't give a shit. And I give a shit about most things.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So I'm hopefully catching up with Phil Rasmussen, president of Armwrestling Australian Federation, Ryan Bowen, hopefully Larry Wheels and Adam Silver. Hopefully we'll all do a show and talk about this and talk about it because, a lot of us like to film content and things like that. We've been told the whole event will be pay-per-view. So I am with you. The overalls should be.
That's what it's about. I'm going to pay $10 for it either way. Either way. I'll actually pay you $12 if you don't make me watch all the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, or give me a time. The exact time.
Just give me a time. Just tell me. Tell me what's up.
Going to start. So what I think would be even better is, yes, we'll go with the Uncle John theory. You only do the overalls. But if I'm live, Ryan Bowen's live, the Burnett brothers, Hollywood Matt Connolly, for all lives, and not only am I commentating the tournament, but I'm roaming around and building this up. Guys, we're only 15 minutes away. Hopefully, Danny Tesh returns. But Larry Wheels, who will he get round one? Make sure and check out the countdown timer here in 15 minutes. You'll see Larry Wheels pull his first tournament. Who gets him first? Is it Ryan Bowen? Is it Mario Tambarkas or things like that? So Larry just announced it. And he kind of went, I'm pulling on the tournament this weekend, April 30th. Cool.
Well, he's feared. Right?
So, massive super chat from Ryan Dragon, one of my members. Thank you very much, Ryan. You dead set legend, one of the coolest last names going around.
Not bad at all.
You can call me Nighthawk. You can call me Dragon. Step Brother, one of my favorite movies. Need to catch up. You guys talked about times for everything this weekend. No, we'll talk about them soon because we're just finishing up the actual pay-per-view talk, and then we will talk about what is going on this weekend because we're a couple of busybodies. I can tell you that right now. I might even have to check actually, I'm going to leave that up there. I'm going to quickly check a DM. Because I haven't been replied to. I was trying to find out what time one of the events starts. Everyone's in there. Alan the Hitman Ford says, yes, Aussie. Hollywood Matt Connolly says, Danny Tesh, what? Yeah, Larry's definitely excited, but I don't know. He just needs a bit more in his voice.
Yeah, like show me something, Larry. Is it a tournament that's going to take you to get up and out and start barking a little bit? Is that what it's going to take? Hey, by the way, we got N-Will 80kg in the house. Who is the man who got me this shirt? Amazing.
Yep. It's and I've got one in the mail.
Yes.
Who is on the mail. Hollywood Matt Connolly, we have been trying to talk to get him over.
$0. I need zero prize money. All I need is money to get there and have some kind of food. That's it. Which unfortunately is still an extreme amount of money.
Yes. And a massive long flight. Karen Looms has asked, will it be on one table and who is the MC? Aussie, will every match be filmed? From my understanding, and I'd like more clarification on this, from my understanding, I think it's going to be 4 tables because we are recreating the over-the-top movie. So the scenery will look like the movie. The tables are the same. The setting, the lights underneath and everything like that. It is the same.
Mm-hmm.
So the visual of it, I think, will look really good. And My Sport Live did an awesome thing, and they live streamed our national championships about 3 years ago. Presidential Phil Rasmussen will be emceeing the event with the Aussie arm wrestler. Of course, you've got to get the number one commentator in the Southern Hemisphere and arguably in the world to be calling the action. Yes, Phil and I will be co-doing it. We're going to go up there. We're going to hang and bang and things like that, which I think will work, especially for me, because then I can roam around the event. I can grab the camera and say, come with, there might be some matches and, they'll have a couple of cameras, hopefully, so you'll be able to watch your match. And I'll say, split the screen in half. Here, I'm here. Oh, I've got Lachlan Adair right next to me. Lachlan, overall, starting soon. What do you think? And it's going to be awesome.
What is the date on Over the Top 2?
So the 30th of April. So it'll be Friday night your time. So it's all day Saturday my time.
Right. Nice.
And thank you very much to Sarah and Jason Latona over there at Good Pullers. Get some merch over there. They and Brendan Allen have made my little baby two little baby clothes, which is but it's got like only forearms and Filthy Power, their logos on it. They've both made a specific one for my little baby, so I'm very appreciative about that, and it's in the mail.
Nice.
So thank you very much.
There was a go ahead.
Hollywood, Matt Connolly, Jake, how many times has just had to endure the over-the-top movie with you? At least once a month. But I try and watch it these days when she's not around. I was like, oh, are you going? Okay. Retro Ricer Gaming, we need a blonde-haired mustache American to pull a Chinese commie. He's sticking with the WWE theme.
I like it.
We need a Hulkster and a foreign heel. Captain Obvious says, for Over the Top 2 to be a real hit, you need to fly over Frank Stallone to play the part of Lincoln Hawk. He's always available. He's always. Adam Silver, every time you say bang, we deduct $50 from your pay.
Oh, you're screwed, buddy.
Adam, it's the number one catchphrase in arm wrestling. Why are you doing this to me, son? I thought we were buddies.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. The Aussie arm wrestler will officially be broke because I will be screaming ready bang at every moment I can. Can't wait to catch up with you before the event, during the event, and after the event. Adam, really enjoy. The one thing, Adam's a very, very busy man, but he's very, very responsive when you talk to him. And
Indeed.
You can't ask for much more than that. You can't ask much more than that. So I really do appreciate, Adam, your time. I know how busy you get and sometimes how honest you get. So he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And hopefully, he'll come on both of our shows real soon. So from what we've come to conclusion, pay-per-view can be good for arm wrestling. Obviously, with anything, if done right, just be very, very careful on how much you will spend. You'll spend on this. Just look,
it's just time. It's time. There's going to be uncomfortableness. There's going to be things that hit. There's going to be things that miss.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking forward to meeting you. Looking forward to meeting you as well, Hank from Breaking Bad. I still have a show to do with Uncle John. Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a juicy show when Adam comes on. We were kind of bouncing things back and forth. Hopefully we get some good info. And anytime, Adam, let me know, buddy. We'll get it on.
Yeah, He's doing some amazing things. Like this just come out of nowhere, the arm wrestling, and they've just ran with it. And we appreciate it so much. So much. And the king of the tables and everything, like, well, they're just awesome for us to call. And, you know, and we're not jealous at all, Adam. We both wished you well, privately and publicly, to have a good call with Coach Ray. I mean, you're playing second fiddle to us, but that's okay.
So, by the way, huge weekend this weekend.
Yes,
for us and
here
for
we go.
Right? So it's Thursday here in North America. All these events happening in North America, and all on Saturday. So 3 events are going on. Number 1, in Ontario, Todd Hutchings is taking on Porkchop, Curtis Cameron, and then immediately after that going against Brian DeZormo, both on the right hand. So it's kind of a gimmick match, 3 and then 3. So that's the first one. That's a Table Monkeys event. I do believe that's going to be free. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe it's going to be on the Table Monkeys channel, but I haven't really heard. Number 2, Louisiana States. That is the one that's got a pretty hefty card to go along with it. But the big match there is going to be Krasimir Konstantinov versus the Gorilla, Corey West. So this, as of this time, there's no pay-per-view and there's no guarantee that there's going to be a live stream because apparently the location does not have good Wi-Fi. We will have Brad Cook from 217 there. So very worst case scenario, he's going to have all the hot videos coming out for us in the week after that.
It's going to be madness. But I tell you what you can guarantee, you just keep an eye out on Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show or the Aussie Arm Wrestler, because we will be tag teaming the shit out of it and calling each and every event. We're going to do that. And then if the time fits in well and I can sneak it in, I'm going to be calling the Tyson Fury match as well. A bit of a boxing thing there for any boxing fans out there. Mazel Jador is very happy that we're giving all the Adam Silver love. Absolutely. I mean, anyone that puts in a lot of effort to make arm wrestling better and give Uncle John and I content to talk about, discuss, have some fun, dissect. Absolutely. We are actually, Adam Silver, do you have 5 minutes to say hello now? If I send you the link?
Link it up.
Adam, just let me know in the comments if you have 5 minutes just to pop in and say g'day. Let us know. What's up, Uncle Aussie?
So third, thank you, Eric. Third up, we've got Arizona State, and that is probably, without a doubt, the biggest card of the weekend. That's got your Giannis Amelins versus Corey Miller. It's got Artem versus Coach Ray. It's got Underwood versus Withers. It's got Rockers versus Warzinski, and more. Passmore versus Topi. A lot of really good matches. That one is going to be pay-per-view in the evening on Arm Wrestling TV. You got to go sign up at the pay-per-view level on their membership plan. This one is not going to be until nighttime for North America. So for me, it's at like 11 o'clock at night. On the West Coast, it starts at like 7 p.m., I think it is. So that's going to be the big one. But just follow along, guys, if you want the commentary. It's all going to be either right here on Aussie Arm Wrestlers channel or on Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show. So like, share, subscribe to both.
You got to do it. I've just sent the link to Adam Silver. So you just pop on. He's got 5 minutes. He's a very, very busy man. So he's seen it. That's always a good sign when you see it, and we'll see.
We'll bring this man in. For those of you that don't know, Adam Silver is obviously very closely tied to Larry Wheels. Does a lot of I guess we'll ask him what his actual, what he would title his job. A man of many specialties, I would imagine.
Yeah. Marcus is saying, Evan, he's on in 10 minutes. That's fine. We won't be going too much longer, but Adam Silver, Larry Wheels' videographer has just said that he'll come on for 5 minutes. So we'll just have a chat and then we'll send everyone over to Evans. But Evans already been live today. That's just being greedy.
Get out of
He had
here,
a great
Evan.
show. He had a great show. So let me just check. I'm just keeping an eye on my messages for him there. These matches, the 3 events are going to be awesome. If I have to put them in order of excitement that I'm keen to see, it would be the Arm Fighter, Tim Talmadge, Arm Sports Entertainment.
Yeah.
Then Louisiana State. Then But ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Let me introduce this. No, the channel hasn't changed. And you haven't clicked on Breaking Bad. You haven't. This is the man that does a fantastic job in bringing you everything that is Larry Wheels. And the one thing I love about it is he's become a character of his own. And we thoroughly enjoy everything he does. He's currently got an absolute fucked arm, but we still love him. Adam, mate,
yes.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys.
We have the first things first. Can you tell everyone your official title role, what you do for everything for Larry?
I'm his manager.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm his manager. I also shoot all the videos, edit all the videos. I do all that stuff, but negotiate all of his deals. I'm vice president of the company.
You're the guy.
I do a lot of stuff. Yeah.
A part of me is slightly relieved that you are the guy because, like we were mentioning earlier, I'm not sure if you heard, Uncle John and I were like, you're so accessible, you're very responsive as much as you can, you share everyone's content, you love the sport, and then I was like, oh man, if he's just a shit kicker, I'll be like, he's got a bit more than that. But yeah, I was going to assume that you're the man. It's awesome. Why arm wrestling, Adam? Thank you, but why arm wrestling?
So I used to compete back in the 1990s, and I did it for 6 years. And I basically got into arm wrestling a little bit in high school, just for fun. And then a bit more in college, I started to actually take it seriously. I started weight training when I was like 18 years old. And I got very strong very fast for, I was bench pressing literally in 2 years. I was bench pressing 405 pounds at 161 pounds body weight.
Yeah, that'll probably do it.
Yeah, so I did really well, and I got into arm wrestling. I found that I was really good at it. I was very, against guys my weight for sure. I could pretty much just crush through people, and I didn't really have any experience. So I eventually met up with some people up in Maryland, Les Wims, and a couple other guys up there. I'm forgetting names right now. But eventually I made my way over to Dave Patton in Virginia.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yeah. So I started training with him and his crew, and occasionally Travis Bagent would show up from West Virginia. So I learned a lot there. And it was 1997. I won like the New York States. So that was like a big deal. I won my weight class. I was 181 at the time, and I was bench pressing about a little over 500 pounds. And then I won the overall at that competition.
Look at that. Hey, look at that. Now, I wouldn't be and this makes so much more sense now, because like when I hear you talk on Larry's show, or when I rewatched King of the Table and we hear you speaking, I was like this dude's like really committed. I was like, he knows his stuff. Well, this makes a lot more sense now because you've done it for quite a while and was quite good of it. King of the Table. You've done it. You've done 3 of them. You've got your biggest event coming up in June.
Yeah.
What made you guys want to run events? I mean, because look, Larry and and everything. That channel's doing really well. It's like we need you guys more than arm wrestling needs you. You guys are doing fantastic stuff with the bodybuilding. So what made you go, right, let's get King of the Table?
Well, that really goes back to getting Larry into arm wrestling. So Larry arm wrestled a couple times, just some random people, and he happened to be really good at it. Against those random people, not against real arm wrestlers. So we moved to Dubai. This was after living with Thor for a couple months in Iceland. Moved to Dubai, and I was looking for like arm wrestlers in UAE and Dubai. And I found Suhail Khan, who is an Indian heavyweight champion, and he had a little club going on. So I contacted him and brought Larry over, and we started arm wrestling there. So just to move things along here, he obviously become really excited about arm wrestling and really loved it. And we brought Devin Larratt in and blah, 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 and then a bunch of the other top pros. And basically we decided, wouldn't it be great to go ahead and like start some competitions? Maybe we could do some here in UAE, because really there wasn't anything going on. And then, COVID happened, of course. That fucked everything up.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun, exactly. So we emerged from that, and we started talking about the arm wrestling thing again. And we worked very closely with Don Idris of Core Sports. So Core Sports was born a couple of years back during the pandemic, actually. I was around for the talks that were going on. Don brought us out to Dubai from Iceland. So he runs World's Ultimate Strongman. Larry was doing Strongman at that time. And so we became pretty close with Don and his team. I actually lived in the production house for a couple of years. So we basically all got together and started, King of the Table. So it's basically Don Idris, Mark Boyd from Strong Gym, Larry, and me started the King of the Table. And we have some really exciting things coming up that I can't say anything about.
Like Devin and Levin, it's probably the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah, exactly. But definitely it's more than just about the athletes. So
interesting.
Cool.
Whoa!
I like that.
Love it. Just a couple of quick super chats. Retro Ricer Gaming says, Adam, are you related to Terry Silver?
No, I'm not.
The Terry Silver?
Macho Man Arm Wrestling Channel says, very impressive, Adam. Tons more respect. You're getting the love that you deserve, and hopefully everyone that watches this a bit later on, or the awesome 60 people that are joining us now, just realize not only is he one of the hardest working men in arm wrestling, he's just a fun, cool dude as well. A shit talker on the table, which we love. Uncle John and I love that.
Uncle John has that. For sure. He's the best.
we want to teach Larry how to fire up on the table and get him.
We need to.
Tell me though, does Larry just not want to? Is it not in him, or is it something that he just needs a sensei for?
That might be the answer. Because when he, obviously I've been working with Larry for 7 years, and so I've seen him through a lot of his powerlifting since he was like 19 years old, and he always gets like fired up right before, but for whatever reason, in arm wrestling, it's a different mindset for him. But he needs to get that fire, and like jump in.
My services are always open.
Okay, right. Yeah, we might have you teach him some stuff. So, yeah, you're in UK, right? You're in the UK?
No, I'm in Halifax,
Canada.
Nova Scotia, Canada.
That's right, Canada.
Yeah.
If we get out to Canada this summer, we'll try and stop by.
That'd be great. That would be awesome.
He's stopping by Australia next week, so I'm very excited.
So I think this has to be asked, and I don't push you in a corner on this question, but is there anything you can tell us about the ongoing controversy in the versus Levon match? Is there anything at all that you can enlighten us with? Devin put out a very mysterious kind of video the other day, and we've heard about the contracts, but who knows what the reality is?
Right. So I think I'm just going to let it keep going.
I love it. Hey, that's a whole other show that I can do. Adam Silver says
Right.
nothing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It is a crazy controversy, and it's interesting that it all happened with us.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we needed this. Maybe the arm wrestling world kind of needed this.
Well, it's big arm wrestling on a bigger level than it's been. And these types of things are bound to happen. We're going through these growing pains, just like with pay-per-views spreading all over the place, with rules disagreement. I think it's all good. It's all good. It's all like, difficult, but I think, we're just working things out.
But we are trying to, sorry for interrupting, but we are trying to, we do have some ideas in the pipeline to kind of make everybody happy. See, the thing is that arm wrestling, I don't know much about the origins of arm wrestling. I'll be very honest with you. The deep history, maybe it started in, the 1600s, who knows? But basically the fundamentals, interestingly enough, are important for the sport. But then when it comes to the entertainment, that where you're bringing in new people, sometimes they may think, this is not as exciting, because the setup takes too long or this or that. So we have to strike a balance so that there's entertainment for everybody, but there's also fairness for everybody too, for the athletes, So I totally understand how, people have gotten used to maybe a particular setup style, whether it's WAF or WAL. Maybe some guys, they just always want to slip because they always need to be in the strap for whatever reason. They just, maybe their hand isn't strong enough.
Some people.
Some people, maybe not you because your hand is a strap.
Now, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence here, Adam, and I will give you the right to pass on these questions. But King of the Table 4, Devon versus 11, will the rules in the contract be changed? It's my first question. And the second question is, who do you think will win the main event match?
Interesting. So, I mean, two good questions. I'll pass on the second one for sure, which is who will win.
Yeah.
But in reference to the first question, I think that they're both going to arm wrestle. That's for sure. I know that. Whether which set of rules it's going to be, things could change, or they may stay the same. They may go after the King of the Table 1 rules because they did sign contracts based on that rule set. Whether it was in the contract or not, that's what you assume that. If it's not, the rules aren't there inside the contract itself, then you kind of go on the assumption that the rules are, this is what they've been using. So
reasonable person would assume.
Exactly. But changing the rules for the King of the Table 3, that was, I guess we didn't expect so much craziness to happen.
People exploded.
But they really did.
It's the best.
So it's like you do have two camps. You have the camp that believes in like the traditional arm wrestling, maybe WAF strict rules, and then you have the other people that want more of a modern take on it. And maybe some of those modern takes, like running fouls, are actually kind of a really good thing, and they can keep a match going. But the setup, we have to figure out what to do about, setting up two arm wrestlers to fight where it doesn't take too long, but it's also fair for both sides. So,
right.
I didn't realize it would be that complicated.
Yeah. And that's it. Right. And there probably is no answer at the end of the day. It's just going to be something that, it's going to be figured out at some point, and it may go this way. It may go that way. I just love all the story around it because it makes it so juicy.
I love the drama, but if this whole YouTube game doesn't work out for you, Adam, you will do amazing in politics with that answer. You were amazing. So all right. We don't want to bar you up too much about it because you're always under pressure, and we just wanted you on here to have a bit of fun with us. So let's get to all the fun stuff before you have to run off. because we could easily just bombard you with that. And that's
just
not
so you
why.
know, I'm not running anywhere right now. I'm in my underwear. Let me show you. No, but I am in my underwear. So if I stand up,
that means it's got to go. Carolyn Looms has gone. Adam, is Derek Smith in the future of your king of the table thoughts?
He is actually. So Derek has become a good friend. I really like him a lot. And when he came out here, very knowledgeable guy. And he wasn't in fighting shape at the time, unfortunately. But now you can see he's like
yeah, he's on now.
He's really on. So
yeah,
I like him, and I think that he is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. That's for damn sure. So I think maybe in a year or two, things are changing for him quickly. So
alongside that question, Adam, when you guys are looking for competitors, and as you go forward, because that's what everybody like. King of the table now is seen as a very high up there thing. Obviously, you're dealing with elite pullers, but what's the best thing that your average puller can do to work his way up to get to a position like being on a king of the table card? What is it that you look for?
That's probably the number one question that we get. So I would say, and this is the honest truth, is that elite level puller, or at least very, very good puller, very top of the line, but also very strong in social media. The thing is for a pay-per-view to work, so we have to have people that want to watch it.
Yes.
And let's say we have 2 elite level pullers that just have zero social media. People are gonna be like, who is that? Now, the arm wrestling community itself, the core community, maybe they know who these people are, but to really bring in people to make money on a pay-per-view, you need to bring in people from outside of arm wrestling as well.
Yes.
So that's just a fact.
Finally, Adam has said the answer. Like all the time, people would complain on the internet. He's only pulling because he's a YouTuber. He's only pulling because he's got social media. Guys, I mean, Uncle John and I have been banging this drum. And now you've heard it from Adam. Like, if you want king of the table, being good isn't good enough. Get yourself as a social media presence. And I genuinely believe you're the first promoter out there that has actually said it. A lot of people try and fob it off and they're like, oh no. He's had some really good wins here and he's doing well over here. But you have literally just said, get those subs up. Have 50,000 people following you on Facebook.
What's really interesting. What's interesting to me is that I now know a lot of arm wrestlers and a lot of top arm wrestlers, especially when I went to East versus West too.
Yeah,
and they're great people. They're great people, and they're amazing athletes. But they have zero social media or very low social media, and it seems very common that a lot of top arm wrestlers or a lot of really good arm wrestlers out there are just unknown because they haven't worked on that social media. And I kind of get it because it's a pain in the ass.
It's hard work.
It's hard work, and if you're working like long shifts, for whatever job you do, a lot of arm wrestlers are blue collar workers, and they work a lot of hours. They do a lot of physical labor. Not everyone, but a lot of them do. At least, maybe this was from my time, the '90s, but now more and more people are getting into arm wrestling that are kind of outside of that.
And
so.
It's spot on, because I'll tell you a perfect example. Guys, I'll get to your super chats in a moment, because a perfect example of having a strong social media presence, Adam literally messaged me yesterday, and Uncle John, do you know what Adam asked me?
What did he say?
What is your name? What is your real name?
I did.
What is your real name? Because my social media, I'm the Aussie Arm Wrestler. I'm the Aussie Arm Wrestler. When I message him, it's the Aussie Arm Wrestler. Hey, man, we come, this, that, and the other, and Adam's responsive. And then the other day, we were chucked in a private group chat, and he was just double checking. He was like, hey, man, what's your name? And so my social media presence is strong because Adam knows me as the Aussie Arm Wrestler. He knows every time I say bang, he's docking $50 from me, you son of a bitch.
That's right.
That's why he wanted to know your name, right? Yeah,
For the invoice.
yeah, for the invoice.
Yeah.
When he's like, you said bang 318 times. You actually owe us money now.
Jesus, yeah, exactly.
But yeah. Retro Roster Gaming says Uncle Johnny's from Halifax. Aussie, do you know anyone from Halifax? Well, we know people from Halifax in the United Kingdom. Our family grew up in Halifax in the UK. There, all of our family, very, very happy about that. Another one here, White Wolf says Adam is not answering your questions, blowing it off, and it does matter. There's a thing called State Kings. Heard of it? Come on, man. Adam's running the events. White Wolf, you're awesome. White Wolf's not a troll, Adam. He's actually a really good guy.
Yeah, he's a troll.
But he can't give us too much. He's got a company to run and everything like that. He can't give us the direct answers, White Wolf.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And you only gave him $5, White Wolf. Cheap.
That's like a $500 question right there.
He needs $50 for all these bangs he's going to be saying. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it at over the top. I think you'll just come over before the overall starts and just tap me on the shoulder and just go, that's enough now, mate. That's
right. No, it's all good. I love it.
Judy Mugu says people will watch anything live. Bowen is live streaming himself playing chess online, and there's a lot watching it. It's about personality.
Right. That is true.
And, absolutely, that is true. Now a fun question for you, Adam. If you had to pick one YouTuber, they don't have to do anything with arm wrestling, one YouTuber and one arm wrestler that you really like that hasn't been on King of the Table, who are two people? One has to be from the world of YouTube that you guys are very well known in, and one puller in the world of arm wrestling. They're not going to go against each other, but just two people you would love to book. Who would you have?
You know, I want to say something, but the thing is we're actually working on this exact thing right now. I don't want to give away the answer.
No.
I love it.
So
well, that's perfect.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, White Wolf, but there's another one I can't answer right this second.
There's another.
I could probably come up with a couple other ones, but yeah, but we're actually working on that.
They're your second option,
just for fun. Yeah.
Well, look, exactly. I think that's such an integral point that sometimes we lose sight of, is that it's not just about pleasing the people that are already here. We have to reach out more. We have to grab all these people, bring more people in. And then that solves a lot of the problems. The more people, more eyeballs you have, the easier it's going to get. You'll have different problems, but it'll get better.
But what we won't do is we won't forget about the people that got us here in the first place.
Sure.
So that's one thing we won't do. We want to bring as many new people in as possible, but we still are going to put together those elite level matches and perhaps some elite level matches at the lower weight classes as well.
Beautiful.
So it's not just the big meatheads, but maybe some of the smaller guys too, that are just amazing athletes. Some of the small guys can beat the big guys, and it's just blows me away.
Incredible stuff.
I will when I'm fortunate enough to meet you and Larry. I feel like I have to apologize to Larry, because what happened, Uncle John, when it was announced and it was like Larry Wheels is coming to Australia and pulling the tournament. I messaged Adam and I was like, "Are you coming to Australia? Are you coming? Oh yes, I'm gonna have a beer with you, man. This will be fun. We'll have a lot of fun." And then I was a bit like, oh yeah, Larry's the star. Yeah, so I'm excited for Larry too. I'm excited for Larry as well. But let's get you both on the show. So I think I might have to just go. I am excited for Larry to come, but I think because I talked to you, Adam, I talked to you more and things like that, and gotten to know you. It's like, I'm excited to have a beer with this dude. Carolyn Loom says, much respect for Larry going to over the top two. He seems excited. Safe travels, Adam, and hope you have a blast.
Indeed.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Is your injuries good enough for you to enter in any of the divisions, or are you still heavily injured?
Well, the funny thing is, so it's my left shoulder that I tore up. And, the only thing is like, I was building up my right hand again, my right arm, but I stopped once I injured this, and I just stopped all training. There were two things going on with me. It was a shoulder injury and also my cervical spine. And I've had the reason I stopped training all the way back in 1997 after I hit that big bench press was that my cervical spine had basically a degenerative condition, and it was from a car accident that I had. So I had a surgery, fixed some stuff in there, was getting ready for a big bench meet where I was going to, bench 230 kg, which is 507 bench, weighing 181.
Jesus.
And 2 weeks before the competition, I re-injured my neck and started to have some nerve damage down to my right triceps. Had surgery to fix it, but I really got depressed and just stopped training altogether. So I stopped training for 23 years until last year. So I was building my arms back up, and my left is actually better than my right. So it kind of sucks that this is out.
Yeah, of course, right?
I haven't trained enough, and I feel like I'm not very strong right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can mess around with some people, of course, right-handed, but I won't be able to put my left arm on the peg or anything. I kind of have to let it. It's still healing.
Okay, yep, we're still there. Okay, yeah. Just wanted an update. What Wolf says, I'm not a good guy. I'm a wolf. Wolf smells BS and a trap mile away. This is a product. We buy your product $5 or $5,000 US. Thanks, White Wolf. You're dead. That legend. Having a bit of a laugh there. And
I like
Macho Man, Macho Man Arm Wrestling Channel says, Adam, pick me. Laugh out loud. Ready, bang. I think you would be,
hey, as long as he snaps into a Slim Jim.
Yeah, right. You got to adopt more Macho. Like that's what we do. That's what we really need. We need cream of the crop stuff going on here.
Oh, absolutely.
So how long will you be in Australia for?
I think like 5 days total. Yeah, something like that.
So what day will you arrive?
I think we arrive on you know what? We leave on the 28th, but we arrive on the 29th, the morning of the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think we leave on May 2nd, if I remember correctly. So.
And so we're just a little bit of an insight for anyone. So we're not going to talk anything in the contract, but when this was all sorted, how many of you will be coming over? Is it just you and Larry? Is it you, Larry, and like a family member, a girlfriend, an entourage?
No, just me and Larry, actually. Yeah.
There you go. Do you want to tell everyone what hotel you're staying at? Just some more.
Jesus. I don't know about that. Yeah.
Do not do that. Dan John 73 says, Adam, you're an awesome dude. And that's why I've just been trying to, Uncle John and I have been dying to get Adam on the show because we knew this and we just wanted to show everyone that sits through and watches Adam's channel. Ryan Dragon, you dead set legend. Thank you very much for your super chat. He says, King of the Table was the first live card for me. Love what you're doing with production. Can't wait till June when you get Aussie Arm Wrestler and Uncle John to commentate the event live. I may have added that last little bit in. No, but he says he loves what you're doing with the production, as we all are, and can't wait till June.
Thank you. Yeah.
Which is beautiful. Thank you very much, Adam. Look, we could genuinely talk to Adam for another 6.5 hours, but we might only just wrap it up. One, out of respect for Adam for coming on, and two, there's some works with Adam going on Uncle John's show, and I don't want to ask all the questions because I'm just
some juice. You got to leave some meat on the bone, right?
Right, exactly.
It is just all there. So as much as you can say in your world, in Larry's world, in the arm wrestling world, Adam, what's up and coming?
Well,
have you guys got some good guests coming on the channel? Is it just more awesome training videos? You're getting more arm wrestlers to come fly to Dubai, just to hang out.
Okay, so that's actually a good question. So I think a lot of people, when Larry said, "Hey, I'm not going to do any more super matches this year," I think people thought, "Oh, he's not doing any more arm wrestling," but no, that's not true. He's going to do some tournaments. So he'll still be doing arm wrestling practice, and we're still going to bring people in, new faces and, pros, and it's going to be a lot of fun still. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
It's just,
I love
he
to
wasn't
hear
going to, yeah, he's just not doing another King of the Table right now.
Yeah.
It's such a bummer
that was one of the big things that a lot of us, on our shows had talked about how much we wanted to see Larry, go and do tournaments, because Larry did something that people don't understand is so difficult. Like, he never had a time to just start arm wrestling and grow, like, privately.
Right.
It's
That
like,
is true.
hi, I'm Larry Wheels. You guys are going to watch me do everything, and it might not look great all the time.
Right,
But I love
exactly.
the idea of Larry going to tournaments and just getting more repetitions, getting him in there, different situations. So it's not all, because super matches in tournaments are so different. It's such a different way to go about the sport. And I'm excited to see what Larry can do there, for sure.
Yeah. He does need to, in my personal opinion, need to enter an amateur tournament.
Yes.
So, because the thing is that he is still an amateur. He's not won any tournament. And it's going up against top level guys, it's pretty tough.
Yeah,
very, very
I
tough.
think Larry should take. There you go. There's your
Did
next.
someone say amateur? Did someone say amateur? Get the contracts out. I smell a super match for the most coveted amateur trophy on the history of the planet. No, sorry, Uncle John. Couldn't help myself.
No, I just think that Larry should pull as much as he can in as many tournaments as he can, and get just that experience, because it's so important and it's so underrated by people. But at the same time, Larry, just do whatever you want, Larry. I just love the fact that Larry is doing arm wrestling, because it helps us out a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And also, like to reiterate that, like, if you and Larry in Core Sports, if you're running the event, I've got no problem with you booking yourself on the show. So if Larry has a super match and opens the card, everything, for me, that's just a bonus. Like, yes, we want tournaments and we want him to succeed. But like, if you're announcing King of the Table 7 and Larry's that's his 7th match, well, it's in his hometown. It's where he lives. It's his event. It's your guys' event. So let him have a super match every time.
Right. Well, interestingly enough, I just watched a video where Travis Bajan was saying how terrible Larry's management is for the competition. Basically the King of the Tables, the people he's gone up against, he's lost to. But the fact of the matter is that it's Larry's decision who he goes up against. So I didn't in particular pick Khalid. He really wanted to take on Khalid, and he felt that it's also a good business decision because Khalid would bring in a lot of people. Everybody wanted to see Khalid.
Yes.
So that was his decision. I did want him to pick somebody that was more on his level, and not that Khalid is way above him, but Khalid is somebody that Larry can beat when Larry's in the straps.
Yeah.
But this guy, Khalid, has an elite level grip. It is very difficult to slip. Even Schoolboy couldn't slip from him. So, and Schoolboy is strong. Schoolboy is a very good arm wrestler. He's world class. He's world champion, junior world champion, I guess. But so Larry did try to slip out and could not slip. So it was very difficult, but
well, we'll work on that too when I get out to Dubai. We'll figure out all these little kinks. We'll work them all out. No worries.
Yeah, I mean, and you'd be great for Larry too, just because you have that damn big hand. It's just insane.
Yeah. Like, if I can get on a plane, I'll do whatever. I will do absolutely whatever. I think it would be a great time. But I'm just so happy that we have these types of things, these outlets, and man, I'm just, King of the Table 4 looming large out there. And it's literally, Jake and I spent 2-3 hours talking about it yesterday live. I mean, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. So
as content creators, we definitely appreciate everything you're doing, because it's just money for jam. We just sit there and go, oh, there's another King in a Table. Oh, then there's announcements, and this person said this, and then we call the event live, watching your pay-per-view, and we're just like, and then we talk about the matches that just happened and what could be, and just never ending, and we really do appreciate it. But and we appreciate you spending half an hour with us on the show. We
Thanks,
will wrap
Absolutely.
that up, guys. You will see Adam Silver over in Australia, and hopefully I haven't pushed my luck too much, and I'm going to have a beer or a Coke or whatever your poison is. Adam, can't wait.
I only do wine spritzers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got to be like, oh my God.
We've just cancelled Adam's trip to Australia. We've just cancelled his trip to Australia. It'll only be Larry coming. So, no, really appreciate it. I'm sure everyone is subscribed to Larry's channel.
Yeah.
Make sure, if you haven't already, buy King of the Table 4. If you haven't seen everything that's going on with Devon and Levan, mate, you are missing out. This guy is putting in so much effort in order to keep us entertained and making a real huge impact of bringing other people's eyes to the sport, which is something arm wrestling needs. So, Adam, cannot thank you enough for coming on the show.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
And we will, so guys, go check it out, and we'll see